Good morning, Morning Musings by Melinda. It's Wednesday, the 10th of June. And I wanted to ask you what you think. Do you think that we're moving into the age of Aquarius? You know, I'm a child of the 60s, and you know that song, it is the dawning of the age of Aquarius, the age of Aquarius. And right now in the world, it almost feels like we've turned the clock back to 1964. A lot of things that are happening now happened in my youth. But what does the age of Aquarius really mean? Well, scientifically speaking, the Earth rotates on its axis, and this line that goes through the center of the Earth has a slight wobble. And it goes through this little circular wobble about once every 24,000 years. And this cycle has been broken into 12 parts associated with 12 astrological signs. Now, I'm not an astrologer, so don't ask me astrology questions. I'm just going to tell you a few things about the Aquarian shift and see if it tickles your fancy. So around 2000 BC to 0 AD, we were in the age of Aries. And from that 0 AD to present, we have been in the age of Pisces. So I started to think about the age of Pisces because, you know, Pisces is the sign that has the fish, right? And that's the sign that born-again Christians use. You can see them on license plates, etc. I was thinking about when Jesus might have been born and recognizing when we're looking at history and understanding how the Bible is written and it talks about eclipses and moons and such, that probably he wasn't born in December at all. In fact, you know, in order to get people to align with Christianity, they probably made his birth date for the Saturnalia of Rome, which was a pagan holiday that celebrated the winter solstice. So it's possible he was born maybe in March, which would have made him Pisces. And maybe this is the end of the Piscean age, and that's why people are all talking about the possibility of the end times and when is Jesus going to return. So I thought it was just an interesting thing to talk about. I'm not giving you information for fact. I'm just giving you food for thought. So let's talk about how every person will be affected during this age, because it's interesting when I did some homework on it. The Piscean age is dominated by hierarchy and power. And the key phrase for this age was the Shakespearean Hamlet, to be or not to be. And to make a successful and happy life, you needed to resolve this question. We all can relate to that. And the key to the astrological sign Pisces is I believe. And during this age, in order for you to be, you needed to find someone or something to believe in. And when you found that thing, you attached yourself to that thing and it guided how you live, such as religion and so on. Political ideology, a charismatic leader. I mean, we've seen that through this last little bit of time that we've all been here on the planet. And the key to life were hidden and secret in the halls of power and in monasteries and in ashrams. And you didn't need to know the secrets. You only needed to follow leaders and guides who did. And these created vertical hierarchies as a result. And it was essential to find your place in the pecking order. So perhaps that's the Piscean age. And in the age of Aquarius, we are kind of moving into an expansion kind of energy. And so this age is no longer a focus on your identity and existence, to be or not to be, but rather on accepting yourself as a whole person. And that's B to B. And, you know, if you follow my musings all along, and for those of you who don't get to see them all every day, you know, we do have a YouTube channel. But if you follow the musings all along, you can see in spirituality that as I'm guided from the other side, that this is a theme, B to B. Because I often talk to you about shadow side and what that means and how you allow yourself to be a human, to be a spiritual person. And so it's about not needing to believe in something other than yourself. Now, I know that people get real upset with me when I talk about that kind of a belief system, because I've seen it on Facebook. I don't know what we put on the other day about finding your own inner strength, and somebody, you know, kind of in capital letters said, well, I find my strength from Jesus Christ. Well, let me tell you something. I'm a Jesus believer too. I'm still very religious. And so I find my strength from Jesus Christ, but in partnership with who I am at the essence of my soul and my higher power. I believe that we partner with the universe, with God, with the energy of God, with Jesus, with Buddha, whatever you want to name it. It's an energy field or a frequency of energy that allows you to partner and to find that wisdom and knowledge from within yourself, because you actually are given wisdom and knowledge at birth. And the truth is that we're kind of led by hooks in our mouths by certain belief systems that maybe we're no longer accepting. And maybe that's part of what's happening with peaceful protesting, is that we're no longer accepting the norm of what happens. And we're starting to begin to think for ourselves in a way that says, well, wait a minute. Let's have a better understanding and a comprehension of the world at a greater level, so that it's not vertical like this in a one-sided way, but it's horizontal, where we open our arms and we embrace the belief system of all, and we allow and we give and we treasure each other for our differences, and that this shift is now bringing out the best in mankind and the worst, because this is a planet of duality, of course. So when we're on a planet of duality, the best and the worst come out together, and that's what we're seeing again sometime. So maybe we are moving into the Aquarian age, and in the age of Aquarius, we need to understand that we've got to shift our paradigm in a way that allows us to not be so judgmental and narrow-minded and singularly focused, and to be critical and judgmental and condemning, but rather to open up to the truth, which is we are all sons and daughters of God, and that Jesus was sent to us as an example. And so this is the way. They gave 4 ways here on connecting to yourself in the Aquarian age. And again, I am a broken record, but I will continue to be a broken record in my morning musings until you say to me, I am practicing this every day, Melinda. And so the first one is to have a daily spiritual practice. Meditation and prayer. Don't give in to fear, despair, or anger. Again, I see everything on Facebook that's, families of policemen are upset too, because now the police are being given this bad rap, and people are talking about George Floyd being a criminal. I think he was maybe a petty criminal. I don't know. But if he was a criminal, certainly was the cop that killed him, because there are stories about how he used his position of power to be a criminal too. So let's just shut up. Anyway, so don't give in to fear, despair, or anger. And please don't think that if you are a policeman or that I am criticizing your son or daughter, who really I honor and appreciate when they serve, because most cops are in a position where they're doing it in an altruistic way, because I know many. Okay, so don't give in to fear, despair, or anger. Don't be a victim. Oh my gosh, that's so important, you guys. It's so important not to be a victim on this planet, which is why I'm saying when you're writing these things, watch what you're doing. Who are you victimizing? Are you, what are you victimizing? Make sure that you stay in a solid place of balance on it all. People are people, and people do things that are inappropriate. But we've got a situation in this country that we need to elevate population that needs to be considered an equal population, and that we're all in this together. So don't be a victim. And lastly, be a source of light. Well, what does being a source of light mean? Well, really just, live in integrity, play by the golden rule, give when you can, be honest, love each other, stand up and talk about things. Don't be afraid. And so I want you to understand who you are in the Aquarian age. And if you're still living in the dark ages, in the Piscean age, and you're giving over your power to something or someone, you're really not in partnership with God or Jesus at all, because Jesus came to teach us that that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be empowered. All right, have a great day.